can I please get a massive round of applause for Tyger Drew Honey?
Thank you everyone for the round of applause. It's greatly appreciated.
Hello, so how are you today?
I'm alright, thanks. How you doing?
I'm good. How are we finding the Comic Con?
Yeah, it's my first Comic Con. It's lots of great costumes, and yeah, I really enjoy meeting a few fans who've come over, and yeah, really good vibe.
Brilliant. Has there been any costumes that stood out to you?
I think a costume that stood out to me, which is a bit coincidental, there was a young chap dressed up as an NCR trooper from the Fallout series. And strangely enough, last night I was actually completing the Fallout series, siding with the NCR. So I just thought I was kind of weird that it bloke turned up in the exact costume I was wearing in a video game last night.
So I've got a few questions for you today.
Okay.
And then what I will do is I will open it out to the audience. So I'll start off with I believe, a simple one. How did you first get into acting, and what inspired you to pursue a career in this entertainment industry?
So I first got into acting very luckily. I just had a lead in the school play, and there happened to be an agent who was friends with the headmaster who'd come in to see the school play, and I did do really well in the play. And she spoke to me afterwards, and she was like, "Would you like to do some professional work?" And so I looked at my mum and was like, "Mum, can I?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then I got signed up to this agency, started doing a few voiceovers, and then eventually I got a part in Outnumbered, which obviously, to get your first kind of telly job, be as successful a job as Outnumbered, I was very lucky. And then I realised that it was loads of fun. You could earn good money doing it, and that I was quite good at it, and so I thought, this is what I'm going to try and do.
So you mentioned about getting into Outnumbered. So what was your reaction to getting the role of Jake?
Getting the role of Jake in Outnumbered. So I remember my mum picked me up from school, and she flung the car door open, and I jumped in the car. She was just like, "How's school?" I was like, "Yeah, it's good, thanks, we did blah blah blah." And she was like, "Those auditions that I'm taking you up to London for?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "They called me today and you've got the part." And I was like, "So I'm going to be on telly?" And she was like, "Yeah, you're going to be on telly." And I think I was 9 or 10 when I found out. So yeah, I mean, it was just really exciting. I just thought I was just getting in the car with my mum to take me home from school, and all of a sudden I realised I was going to be on telly. So it was it's a lot to process. I didn't really understand quite the significance or how lucky I was, but I was excited, yeah.
What was it like growing up in the public eye? So being all over the screens growing up?
It certainly had some really good parts to it, and then there were some maybe less good parts to it. Over the years I've had sort of journalists calling me and turning up at my house about various things, and then you think, how do you know my number? How do you know my address? All this kind of stuff. And as you know, I wasn't your ideal teenager. I started drinking a bit younger than is legal, and so if I was ever at a house party, I'd have to be really careful that I could never get photographed with a beer in my hand when I was only 16 or something, because that would have made the news, and I'd have been fired from my job presenting on CBBC and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't a complete animal, but it was just those little things that I had to sort of just keep behind closed doors, I suppose, and I had to think about things like that. But the good things about it were that I, was showing lots of, love and appreciation from fans, and people would come up to me in the street and be really happy to see me and want pictures and whatever, and just to know that I'd been lucky enough to sort of, bring some joy to some people who enjoyed the show. That's a really nice part of it all.
That's brilliant. So if there was ever a reunion or a special, what would you be interested in reprising your role, and what do you think Jake would be up to now?
So we're doing a Christmas special this year. So we haven't shot it yet. We're shooting the Outnumbered Christmas special in a couple of weeks, and it will be on right over Christmas. Don't know exactly if it'll be on the Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, or Boxing Day, or BBC One at 9 o'clock. From what I've been told from the press team, there's only a few things I'm allowed to say, but we're all grown up now. One of the Outnumbered children is now a parent themselves.
Wow.
And basically, we're all coming home for Christmas, but all I will say is that bus replacement services and hyenas somehow make it the outnumbered that people are used to with chaos and all that kind of stuff.
So I'm going to take a bit of a Halloween turn now.
Let's go.
And go to one of my childhood favourite programmes when I was growing up. So what got you involved in Scream Street?
Is that really one of your favourite shows?
That was, I grew up watching it all the time, every day before school.
Right. Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for doing so. Scream Street is a cartoon where I played Luke, the lead in that, who often turns into a werewolf when he gets too angry. And based on the body of work I'd had before, basically I just had a voice agent, and just like any other job really, I had to audition for it. I had to do 2 or 3 auditions. The people making the show for the CBBC thought I was the best one for the role, and they offered me a job, and I accepted it. That's So
It's brilliant.
I was very lucky to get that job. I mean, I feel lucky to get any job I've ever got. So yeah, I mean that was a really fun job.
Amazing. What was it like transitioning from live action and then doing voice acting?
I think there's a much bigger transition between like acting on telly and acting on stage, rather than acting on telly and doing voice acting. I mean, voice acting and screen acting are actually very similar, I find, because even though you're just listening to my voice, if you were to watch me in the booth, I'm like I'm almost imagining the cameras there sort of thing. So it's almost kind of exactly the same kind of acting, but it's just a lot easier because you don't have to do your hair, you don't have to turn up to set looking like half decent, you don't have to learn any lines because they're in front of you. So it's a little bit easier in a sense that because of those things I just mentioned. But in terms of actually like the acting style, it's very similar.
Oh wow!
Whereas then I know it's not your question, but then for instance transitioning from being on screen to being on stage is a lot different because all of a sudden you've got 7,000 words that you've got to say in one go, and you don't get another chance. If you mess it up, you've just got to carry on. Whereas if you're on telly, you mess it up, you just get to go again. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And there's no stage fight on a TV set. Whereas if you're about to walk out on stage, I've been doing it for years, but I still get, just before I'm about to go on, I'm like, come on, you got this. What's the line? That's the line, okay, go. Boom. So yeah.
So I'm gonna move back on to Cuckoo now. So how did you get involved in Cuckoo, and what drew you to the role of Dylan?
So I got involved with Cuckoo because I used to make a series of documentaries on the BBC called Tyger Takes On, where we looked at lots of issues affecting young people, specifically sort of issues affecting young men. And that was made by a company called Rough Cut TV, who also have produced some fantastic comedies over the years, like The IT Crowd and People Just Do Nothing. And they were making a show called Cuckoo, and they knew me from the documentaries I was making, so they gave me an audition. I only had to do one audition for that, which is unheard of, really. But because they knew me, and then they sent me to the audition, they basically just gave me the role in that as well. Offered me the role and I accepted it, and then we've done that for a few years, which was great fun. That was, what studios was that at? It was at Pinewood, Pinewood Studios. We did that for years. Obviously, I got to meet some really big stars like Andy Samberg, worked with Taylor Lautner from Twilight for 3 years. It was basically kind of an audition process, putting in the work, being good enough, getting lucky, basically.
Amazing. So Dylan starts as quite a rebellious teenager, and then he evolves throughout the seasons. How did you approach the character growth, and what was your thought process during that? The big complicated one there.
I think Dylan definitely does grow up over the series, and he at the start you're right, he's a very surly sort of 16-year-old, and by the time we get to the end, he's in his early 20s, growing a massive weed farm. So I guess you could say he is still, kind of rebellious. But I think, as an actor, I don't think I've ever had a role serious enough, and I'd love to. I mean, it's my dream to be a successful actor. I'd love to have a really serious role where I really need to think about a character arc. But with a role like Dylan, it was quite simple, and the writers had written it all brilliantly for me. So I basically just had to read the lines that were written and listen to the director and the character involved. Sorry if that's not the answer you were looking for, but it was such a well-written show, such a well-produced and well-directed show that it was made very easy for the actors to achieve what they needed us to achieve, basically. So I come in the next day making sure I know all my lines for the scenes I'm doing that day. And yeah, that's pretty much my approach. Just know your lines. Whenever the first AD calls you onto set, make sure you're the first actor there, because then that will impress everyone. I remember once they called the actors on set. Sorry if I'm going on a bit too much.
No, you're good.
I remember because you'd be off set when they're resetting the lights, and you can hear on the radios, like the lighting guys or the makeup girls' radios or something, the first AD saying, "Right, can we have cast to set, please?" And I'd hear that on a radio like 50 yards away. So I'd be like, "All right, cast needs to go to set, so I'm going to head to set." Whereas most of the other actors, they wait for the runner to come over and get them. So I was always on set about 2 minutes before the other actors, and there's one time the director and the first AD, they were like facing the wrong way, and they said, "I bet you Tyger's going to be here in about 3 seconds." Oh, there he is. And that just made me feel good. It was like, oh, they think I'm a professional. Like, little do they know. But yeah.
That's amazing. So, is there anything currently in the works that you're excited to tell fans about? Anything that you can share with us here today?
So I've shared with you that the Outnumber Christmas Special is coming back, and I hope some people are excited about that. I know across the general population many people are, and I'm really excited about that. I will share this anyway, just to let people know I am still an actor. I'm up for quite a big part at the moment for a lead in the Sky drama, which I haven't got yet, so I can't say anything about it, but I feel like I'm very close to getting an offer, so fingers crossed on that. And after that, I'm going straight on to a pantomime where I'll be playing Prince Vincent in Basingstoke at the Anvil Arts in Sleeping Beauty. Panto, something I've done for the last couple of years. I've done Prince Charming the last 2 years, so this year I'm a new prince, and I'll be singing and dancing and hopefully bringing Christmas joy and cheer to those who are near enough to Basingstoke to come and see it.
Amazing. So before I open it out to the audience, my closing question: if you could go for an audition and be guaranteed the role, it could be something that's already been made, something that's currently happening right now, or something that you would want to see be made into a TV show or a film, or you just want to play a part in it, what would it be? We can hop into a time machine and you would guaranteed the role.
So I'm torn between two characters, but I'm gonna say Spider-Man.
Very, very good. I can totally get behind that. So, I will open it out to the audience. Do we have any questions? We do!
Bless you, thank you. Thank you.
It's not really a question, but I just want to say I think you would make an amazing Spider-Man, you're right.
Oh, thank you very much.
You've already got like the look down.
I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. No, I kind of want that role because me and Tom Holland used to go for a lot of the same auditions.
Wow.
And we used to sometimes get close. We'd both get callbacks. We'd be sat in the room outside saying good luck to each other. And then obviously he's got off to get Spider-Man. And I'm not envious. I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But I am envious.
Yeah. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you for filling the silence and
Yeah.
saying something. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions? There we are.
What's been your favourite role so far that you've done already?
The favourite role I've ever played, actually, is something that's not come out yet. It's a radio drama that's going to be out next year, and it's a bloke on a train who was in the Moorgate disaster, which is a train crash. That's going to be out to commemorate the 50th anniversary on February the 25th on BBC Radio 4. Now, the reason I love that character so much is because it was so emotional. But out of the mainstream characters that people will actually know, I would say Dylan in Cuckoo is my favourite character because of the amount of swearing I was allowed to do, the amount of middle fingers I was allowed to give my parents, just the general surliness. And also I had this fantastic scene once, which sounds disgusting, but basically I've got my girlfriend in the bath, we're kissing, and accidentally I poo everywhere in the bath. And the design team, they had to make this contraption so that basically they had a normal bath, but they like fed a plumbing line into it, and they were like feeding beef goulash into the bath during the scene. And you know, I've never done anything quite that out there in this. I mean, I've done a lot of cool things, but I would say Dylan is my favourite character just because he had some really cool things to do. And for instance, the weed farm. I'd never seen a set so cool. A set built just for my character. No one's ever seen Cuckoo or seen the weed farm in it. That weed farm set was insane. It was almost the size of this building with fake weed plants everywhere, and it was like just a really cool set to work on. So yeah, thank you for your question. And I hope that balance is all right.
And then I believe you had one.
What was your favourite thing about playing Jake?
My favourite thing about playing Jake? Well, you know, at that time, when I was mainly a child, I know the last time we did Outnumbered I was 21, but my favourite thing about Outnumbered was the fact that I got to miss so much school. I was in school, I think over the years, I was able to look at my sort of attendance record of school, and I'd actually only been at the time I was doing Outnumbered, I'd only been at school for about 60% of the time, because Outnumbered got me a lot of other work as well. And I still managed to do all right in my exams and stuff because I had good tutors, but yeah, it was really fun knowing that actually today I was going to go work on a film set and all my friends are going to start with double maths. So yeah, that was probably the best part about it. And also just meeting all the lovely people. Dan and Ramona, the other kids, I've got great relationships with them. Hugh and Claire, the parents, absolutely lovely people. They're in a real life relationship now. So yeah, just also it was my first big job, and to have been so privileged to get that job, to learn so much from it, and to meet so many lovely people, to make so many brilliant memories that I'll cherish forever. That is the best thing about being Jake. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Thank you. Do we have any more quick questions? I don't believe so. So can I please have another massive round of applause for Tyger Drew Honey?
Thank you everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for pretending to be interested. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Ta-ra.